My roommate the monster filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Hey, monster! Oh. Listen, I have a friend from school coming over to work on a project. Now, I usually don't ask you for much, but I really need you to be on your best behavior. I'm serious. If I fail this, I fail the entire semester. Oh, look, he's here now. Come in.
Hey Tim, are you ready to work on the school project?
Yeah, of course. Oh yeah, this is my roommate Monster. Holy crap! Holy moly, Ramen, are you... Help! Oh my, help! Everybody, somebody, help him out! Oh my god, are you good? Okay, bro, I don't know what this skit is anymore. Alright, so I might not make it evident on this channel, but I fucking love Black Sitcoms. Almost 2 years ago, I asked y'all in a tweet what Black Sitcoms do y'all want me to talk about after I finished The Cosby Show. And no, I have not forgotten about that show. Anyways, I thought long and hard about what I wanted to do. And then I thought, why not just do a compilation video? So for today's video, we're going to talk about 8 Black Sitcoms. Oh shit. Today we're stepping into the world of Black Sitcoms, so there's no need to waste any time. So without further ado, let's watch some shit.
Black sitcoms are cool as fuck.
Let's start with Malcolm and Eddie. The show premiered on August 26, 1996 on UPN and had an impressive 4-season run. The show starred Michael Jamal Warner, who you may recognize as Theo from The Cosby Show. I can never escape that show.
A big stupid doo-doo head!
And Eddie Griffin from Date Movie. The first episode is simply titled Pilot. In this episode, Malcolm auditions to be a sports commentator. While Malcolm is watching the game, Eddie attempts to fix the TV, and it doesn't work. Ed convinces Malcolm to attend the seminar and attempts to get a free TV. Even though Malcolm knows that seminars are a scam, he's desperate to get his audition tape done. At the end of the episode, Malcolm and Eddie do indeed get the TV, but it's a miniature one. Oh yeah, and Malcolm doesn't get the job. I think the first episode was pretty decent. I had a few good laughs here and there, and I enjoyed Malcolm and Eddie's chemistry. Which is wild as hell to say because in real life, these two did not fuck with each other. Can't say I blame them though. Malcolm just came off the success of The Cosby Show, a show that proved that you don't have to be stereotypical to be funny. And to go from that to this is a huge adjustment. The main theme is catchy to listen to. Compared to the other shows we have on this list, it ain't much, but George Duke did a great job here. The humor is hit or miss, but sadly, I gotta say most of my misses came from Eddie. This scene here is a good example. Eddie out of nowhere brings up the fact that Stanford & Son's theme song has no lyrics. The fact that Eddie randomly said that made the joke funny. But the problem is that he keeps going. He begins to make up his own lyrics, stops, then starts again. There's a few more dragged out jokes in the seminar scene, but it is to be expected for a pilot episode. Not every joke lands and characters aren't introduced that well, but overall, I had a good time. Now I'm sure everyone knows what the Parkers is. If you don't, then I don't know what to tell you. Oh shit! Oh! The Parkers premiered on August 30th, 1999, with a 5-season run. The show starred Monique as a mother attending college with a daughter. If it's one thing I always look forward to while watching this show, is the theme song. I love the theme song, but it sadly doesn't play in the first episode. Speaking of the first episode, this one is titled Grape Nuts. Nikki and Kim both join sororities, and shortly after joining, they quickly see how awful their leader is. However, the leader of the sorority, I'm sorry, I forgot her name, says that Nikki and Kim will only consider grapes because they haven't proved their worth yet. They go through the episode trying to prove themselves, even getting a picture of the professor while he's in bed.
Whoa, we gotta get him up here first.
Nikki ends up leaving the sorority because who the fuck is she talking to like that? And Kim ends up becoming a member. Nikki and Kim hug it out at the end, and that's the pilot. While I do think this episode is good, I don't truly think it's first episode material. Don't get me wrong, I still think this is a good episode overall. I think that Nikki and Kim's chemistry is perfect, and I had a few good laughs here and there. However, I'm not sure if I consider this a great start to the series, especially seeing what the show can do. But I guess any show needs to start somewhere, right? Overall, I like this episode. Now I understand why they chose to start with this, because of sororities and whatnot, but this episode could have been better. Now I'm pretty sure everybody knows this, but The Parkers is actually a spinoff to a show that came out 3 years before this. Probably should have did that one first so this transition could be a little smoother. Coming off the huge success of her debut record in 1994, Brandy was on top of the world, and it only made sense to give Brandy her own show. And on January 23rd, 1996, Moesha would premiere on UPN, with a 6-season run. This is probably my favorite so far. Moesha did everything a pilot should do, and I like it. The first episode is simply titled Pilot. I've written that twice on accident. I also enjoyed the theme song. It's catchy, and Brandy's vocals are great. Getting into the first episode, Moesha is on edge because of her father's new wife, Dee, is slowly taking over. Moesha asks if she can go to a hangout spot, but Dee tells her no, due to it being a school night. After Frank leaves for work, Moesha tries to leave, but Dee continues to tell her no. So Moesha sneaks out. While Moesha is having a good time with her friends, she later sees the guy that she liked was cheating on her. Moesha goes home heartbroken, with Dee waiting for her. Moesha and Dee's relationship starts off rocky, mainly because Moesha is used to it just being her dad and a little brother. But I like how the scene was handled. Dee gives Moesha some good advice, and you can see Moesha slowly getting used to Dee being around. After that scene, the episode ends with Moesha in her room, writing in her diary. This was genuinely a great start to the show. The jokes hit hard, and the characters are likable. Also like the opening and closing monologue provided by Moesha. It's a nice touch and a nice way to see how she feels. Overall, Moesha slaps. Great theme song, great writing, and great characters. This pilot holds up truly well. Now, I didn't watch 101 till I was a teenager. It's one of the few shows I didn't grow up with, but I loved it so much as a teen that I had to put it on here. 101 premiered on September 3rd, 2001, with a 5-season run. The show follows Flex and Brianna. Flex trying to learn how to be a better father, and Brianna getting used to her new settings. The first episode is titled When Flex Got Brianna. Once Flex hears that his ex-wife is moving far away, Flex steps in and offers to look after Brianna. Flex is an immature guy who never raised a child before, so he has a change to prove his ex and his parents wrong. I like the ending of this episode where Brianna is mad that Flex is dating someone else, essentially taking all the attention away from her. Flex explains to Brianna in the nicest way possible that single parents date. It's simple, to the point, and overall a nice ending. This is a great pilot episode. It does a great job establishing the relationship between Flex and Brianna. Flex is willing to be a better father and learn from his parents' mistakes. I also enjoyed the chemistry between Flex and Brianna. It's very consistent throughout the whole series, and they always make me laugh when they're on screen. Not much to say. 101 is a great show with a great pilot. Nice way to start the series. The intro for the final season sucks. Fun fact, I was actually going to include the show Webster in this video, but there's something racist about that show and I can't quite put my finger on it. Anyways, hopefully this video isn't interrupted by a YouTuber that doesn't upload anymore, even though he just uploaded not too long ago. Oh my god, these videos take forever to make.
Boom. Hey everyone, it's me again, here to interrupt the video so Tim can drag out the runtime.
Now, who the fuck is that?
Timothy Reviews will be right back after these messages.
Girlfriends is a show that I sorta grew up with. I caught glimpses of it as a kid, but never fully watched an episode until now. The only thing I remember from the show was its theme song. I love the chill laid-back vibe that the song has, but it also made me laugh because you have the 4 girls laughing and dancing in the opening. Then you get to Reggie Hayes and he's just sitting there smiling. Girlfriends aired on September 11, 2000 and had an insanely impressive run with 8 seasons. Yo, this is a wild ass title for the first episode. Episode 1 is titled Toe Sucking. Stop laughing, bro, that ain't funny. Joan is having her 29th birthday party and invites all of her friends. However, Joan's best friend Tony starts to date Joan's ex. He's the toe sucker, by the way. Joan still invites Tony and her ex Charles, claiming she's okay with it. But in reality, she didn't want him there. Joan and Charles broke up because Charles wasn't ready to commit, and because he sucks toes. So when she hears that he's planning to marry Tony, Joan flips out. Later on, Tony feels bad for what she did, so she went to Joan to apologize, just to find out that Charles was cheating on Tony to get back with Joan. This episode is crazy, man. It's an okay start. Despite Charles being a toe sucker, I think this episode is pretty fun. I also think that Joan breaking the fourth wall to address the audience was a nice touch. I feel like this episode did a good job introducing these characters, but characters like Maya and Lynn barely get enough to do in this episode. Like, I know the main focus is on Joan and Tony, but Maya and Lynn don't do much else. Overall though, Girlfriend was a good time, wild as hell for a pilot, but funny at points. I didn't know where to put this, so I'll put it right here. Yes sir, one of the kings of comedy had his own show. On August 25th, 1996, the Steve Harvey Show would premiere, having a 6-season run. I didn't know much about the show back then, but I wanted to talk about it now. This show doesn't have a theme song, just a jazz band, and it sounds nice. Visually is the best looking. Besides the letters flying on the board, I hate that shit. Alright class, take your seats. I'm your new math teacher, and my name is... Mr. Smith. Bro, this video fucking sucks. The first episode is titled Back to School. It's essentially Steve Hightower needing to pay the bills, so he decides to work at a high school as a music teacher. Steve goes through this episode learning things about his job, the students, and the principal, who was later to be a girl Steve went to school with years ago. This segment is going to be short because this episode is pretty straightforward, and that's why I love it. The Steve Harvey Show knows what it wants to do. The students that don't get that much screen time still have the time to shine, and Steve Harvey is the highlight, with his quick responses to everything. Cedric the Entertainer is the gym teacher in the show, and even he was the highlight. This was my first time watching this show, and I gotta say this is way funnier than I thought. I'm happy I included this show, because this is a fun time. Easily the funniest one of the bunch. The Bernie Mac Show is also one of the shows I grew up watching. Bernie Mac was always my favorite from the Kings of Comedy, and I couldn't wait to watch the show again. The Bernie Mac Show premiered on November 14, 2001 on Fox with a 5-season run. The first episode is where Bernie gets a call from his sister Stacy, who informs Bernie that she can no longer take care of her kids. So she leaves her kids to Bernie, and to Vanessa, Jordan, and Brianna. All 3 kids have their time to shine, and to get on Bernie's nerves. Jordan is my favorite because of how loud and whiny he is. This episode did a great job not only introducing these characters, but also showing that Bernie is willing to learn how to help his sister's kids out. I like how the show is set up like a make-believe reality show about Bernie Mac. It's a funny concept, and I know I said this before, but Bernie Mac is hilarious. His line delivery and his relationship with the kids are so good. Oh look, it's Dwayne from 101. I think it's him. I don't know. I know this is short, but what else could be said? The writing's on point, Bernie Mac is hilarious, and the kids are fun characters. This is easily my favorite of the bunch so far. Watch the Bernie Mac Show, y'all. Last but not least, we're going to talk about another one of my all-time favorites, Everybody Hates Chris. The show aired on September 22nd, 2005, with a 4-season run. The first episode is titled Everybody Hates the Pilot. The show starts with Chris, Rochelle, Julius, Drew, and Tanya moving to Brooklyn. And from there, we see Chris try to adjust to his new lifestyle, seeing how he's the only one out of his siblings who has to take 2 buses to get to school, just to be the only black kid there. Lucky that to get into an altercation with Caruso, he runs to his soon-to-be best friend, Greg. When Chris gets his money taken away by Caruso, Chris warms up and eats the chicken that was meant for Julius. I love the ending for this episode so much. I honestly forgot how heartfelt this episode was. Now usually when an episode ends, you'll hear the Everybody Hates Chris song. The song doesn't play for the first episode, but it doesn't break this episode for me. This show is a great example of how to do a pilot. This episode did a great job introducing these characters and showing the relationship each parent has with the kids. I'm serious when I said this ending is sweet as hell. Throughout every episode, Chris Rock will narrate everything. Thankfully, Chris Rock is funny for the most part. He doesn't drag out any jokes or ruins the mood for any serious scenes. His narration comes in at the right time. Everybody Hates Chris is one of my favorite shows of all time. Almost every episode is perfect. And it's nice to see that this pilot did what it needs to do to kickstart this great series. If I were to rank these shows based on how well they did their pilots, I'll probably go Girlfriends, Malcolm and Eddie, The Parkers, The Steve Harvey Show, Moesha, 1-on-1, Everybody Hates Chris, and on top, The Bernie Mac Show. You may disagree, and you may write your own personal list in the comments. Go ahead, I'll delete that shit. A good chunk of these shows are available on streaming if you want to watch them. I'm obsessed with Black Sitcoms. Hell, if this video does well, I'd love to make more of these. Thank y'all for kicking back with me and watching some shows in the past. And remember, Black Sitcoms are cool as fuck. See, I said the name of the video. Almost 2 years ago, I made a tweet asking y'all what did y'all want me to talk about. Oh shit. No, let me chill. Today we're stepping into the world of Black Sitcoms Today we're stepping into the world of Black Sitcoms. So there's gonna be some... Fuck. This line ain't that fucking hard. I already know that audio is gonna be loud as fuck. Anyways, hopefully this video isn't interrupted. See, I'm already fucking up. If I were to rank these shows based on how well they did their pilots, I'll probably go Girlfriends. How do I keep forgetting them? How do I keep forgetting these damn shows? Boom. One more. Boom.